Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the Noon News from Montana's news leader.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Victoria Hill, filling in for Samantha Harrelson. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Noon Newscast. Officials are sounding the alarm about Hurricane Florence as it approaches the coast of the Carolinas. The massive storm did lose some of its top wind speed, but forecasters warn that it has gotten wider and is expected to bring days and days of torrential rain. CBS's Mola Langhi has the latest from Wilmington, North Carolina.
Big waves crashed ashore in Atlantic Beach, North Carolina as the outer bands of wind and rain from Hurricane Florence reached the Carolinas. The storm has been downgraded from a Category 4 to a Category 2 with maximum sustained winds of 110 miles per hour. But federal officials warn it is still extremely dangerous.
Please do not let your guard down. The storm surge forecast associated with this storm has not changed. It has remained the same.
Forecasters expect a storm surge of up to 15 feet in some areas. Florence could also dump up to 30 inches of rain or more, causing massive flooding.
This is a powerful storm that can kill.
On North Carolina's Outer Banks, most heeded the call to evacuate, but there are always a few holdouts.
I'd rather be here and knowing what I'm dealing with than somewhere else and not knowing what I'm going to be confronted with.
Wrightsville Beach, North Carolina, just on the other side of the intercoastal waterway there, is under a mandatory evacuation. Police say those who chose to stay behind might be on their own.
I'm not going to put our personnel in harm's way. For some, especially for people that were told to evacuate, they failed to evacuate.
Stay safe, guys.
Residents in Jacksonville, North Carolina, about 20 miles from the Atlantic, moved their boats ahead of the storm. It's one of the many cities expected to see the highest storm surge when the hurricane makes landfall.
It's really somewhat of a gloomy feeling knowing that the coast of North Carolina is going to be changed forever.
Heavy rain and high surf are expected to linger until Saturday. Mola Langhi, CBS News, Wilmington, North Carolina.
The storm is expected to cause massive power outages that could last for weeks, depending on the damage. Now closer to home, we now know the Horseshoe wildfire in Clarkston burned approximately 40 structures, and 10 of those have been ruled a complete loss. Now burning for a fourth day, the fire is listed as the highest priority for the state of Montana. The Clarkston community and Red Cross are working with people who have lost their homes. The DNRC applauds the homeowners and volunteer firefighters who sprang into action the first hours of the fire. The latest figures show the fire is 1,525 acres in size and 18% contained. Now we say hello to Ed over at the Weather Center. What are we looking at today, Ed?
Yeah, we're still looking at a lot of those fire conditions. So I think as we go into the next couple of days, what we really need to keep in mind is let's not let our guard down yet, especially areas of southern Wyoming down in through Utah, parts of Colorado, Nevada, still with fire weather warnings into effect with hot, dry conditions. And some of that will still affect areas of southeast Montana as well. Drought conditions, we're still watching areas of northern and western Montana, generally with dry conditions, but a few in the moderate to even severe drought category. Take a closer look at how the forecast could affect all of this in just a few minutes.
Thank you so much, Ed. A 74-year-old Billings area man died after his experimental aircraft crashed into a hangar at the Billings-Logan International Airport. It happened just before 1 o'clock Wednesday afternoon at the far west end of the airport. The private experimental recreational vehicle known as a gyrocopter crashed into a private hangar. The aircraft are very similar to helicopters, but tend to be smaller and fly lower and slower. The airport director of aviation and transit tells us the pilot had not been in contact with the tower and there were no eyewitnesses.
There was a tenant out there who had actually heard the commotion, and after a bit he went and checked it out, and that's when we were notified that something had happened.
The FAA and NTSB investigators are expected to arrive in Billings today. A University of Montana football player will serve a 2-year deferred sentence, 100 hours of community service, and pay a $500 fine after assaulting another U of M student. Senior running back Jeremy Calhoun was charged and sentenced all in one day Wednesday in Missoula. Calhoun pleaded guilty to misdemeanor assault for the incident that happened back in May. He admitted to punching and kicking a student in the face, knocking out his front teeth. Witnesses say it happened during a fight between multiple people when the victim was trying to break up the fight. Calhoun just completed a 2-game suspension for the incident. It's unclear if he will accompany his teammates when the Grizz take on Western Illinois University on Saturday, the team's first road game of the season. The Missouri River Drug Task Force has said they've seen a significant increase in meth and heroin use in the Helena area. Detective Danny David gave a presentation Wednesday morning at the Helena Chamber of Commerce to inform community members about the rise in drug use. David says it's not only a rising problem in Helena, but a serious statewide issue. With the crackdown on over-the-counter drugs used to make meth and prescription opioid sales, most illegal drugs are now coming into Montana from the Mexican cartels. In 2017, there were 28 known heroin or prescription pill overdoses and 3 deaths in the Helena area. A big reason for the increase in heroin use is that people are turning to the drug now that prescription opioids are harder to obtain.
Pain pills, opiates, hydrocodones, Vicodins, things like that, they are the start of this problem for a lot of people. And if people can't get their opiate painkiller drug, then they will move on to the heroin. That's great.
David added that heavy drug use is involved in the majority of theft and break-ins in the Helena community. Elsewhere, the U.S. House endorsed a bill Wednesday that will provide federal recognition to the Little Shell tribe of Chippewa Indians. The Little Shell Restoration Act will allow the tribe to purchase 200 acres of land so it can qualify for federal